We're replacing a failed underground drainage system for gutter downspouts. They ran it in 4-inch. These are 2x3. So right away, that's a concern of mine. You're not going to be able to flow enough water coming out of a downspout that's a 2x3 to keep a 4-inch pipe from clogging. So there's going to be a lot of shingle gravel buildup. There wasn't any catch basins in line to catch the shingle gravel. And to make matters worse, they did not use plumbing tape. So roots got in and stopped up the system. When you have mature landscape and trees, you have to use a really good plumbing tape. All right, Patrick's hooking up a sediment trap. Always connect the female, male to female. Remember that. Make sure you have that in the right direction. You want that to be in the direction of flow. Right here are all the parts that make up what the guys are doing. So the pipe is the acting male into the coupler, that's the acting female. The other side is just in reverse. You have the male coupler versus the female coupler. That's going to go inside the pipe instead of the pipe going inside the coupler. So always make sure you have this in the direction of flow, male to female, male to female. Super important. You know, right here, this is at the house. You got the riser that you cut down the fit. You put the leaf filter on it. You got male to female, again, with direction of flow. So we always dig a much bigger hole for the pop-up emitter. You can see all the room for pea stone under it. And we never tape the pop-up on. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can make, is taping your pop-up on, because there's going to be water, even with all this slope. I mean, the guy's got probably 5% slope on this line. I mean, and this yard is, the house is really built up, and this is just what dreams are made of if you're a drainage contractor. But at the end of the line, where you have a pop-up emitter, after a thunderstorm, you know, after you have a really hard rain, you're going to have some water just left in the elbow on the pop-up. You can see how this 3-inch plus just goes right under the sprinkler lines. This is normal depth for the sprinklers. You know, when they're done right, the company does a good job. You know, they're going to be usually 5 inches below the surface. They did a really nice job. So now this adapter takes our pop-up emitter to a 3-inch, just like that. Super simple, snaps in. Look how easy this connects. And you don't have to drill holes in the fitting. So when there's water left in the pop-up emitter after a thunderstorm, that will leak into the subsurface soil from that connection point if you do not tape it. There's no need to drill a bunch of holes in the not quite a 90 fitting. It's absolutely, all that's going to do is hurt the structural integrity of the fitting, and it's not needed. So after the rain, after a thunderstorm, the water sitting in here will just leach in all the pea stone. There's fabric down so that the dirt don't mix with the pea stone and fill the voids. So Patrick put pea stone around the catch basin, and he folded the fabric over the pea stone, and now he's putting the dirt and packing it alongside the catch basin so we don't have settling underneath the catch basin. So Patrick's just going to pour pea stone around that pop-up connection. Any water left behind in that pop-up fitting after a thunderstorm, now the water that's left in that pop-up, it'll run through all those voids. The stone creates void, so it's a path. Make sure to wrap all your stone in a good non-woven geotextile filter fabric so that the dirt doesn't plug all the voids in the stone. Now you can just go ahead and just pack dirt on it. It's that simple. People wonder why our pop-ups don't freeze in the winter. This is why. But these are extra steps that other contractors don't take. So this is why we tape all of our connections right here. This is what no really good plumbing tape, no copper sulfate, no copper sock, that's what that's going to get you. The guys are going to put copper sulfate in here. You see all the roots? We're just going to sprinkle some copper sulfate to take care of those tree roots. When you have a 20-year-old landscape and you have all this mature vegetation, this pin oak that just grows like wildfire, you're going to have problems with roots. So you can see the copper sulfate and the copper sock. The guys put that copper sulfate throughout the whole trench. Right here, the roots aren't too bad, but right here, where the roots pick up, they increase. We went ahead and put the copper sock on. Always stand on the pipe and then shovel some dirt on it. Make sure that you don't just push dirt onto a corrugated pipe. Corrugated pipe, it's very light. The dirt's going to push it. It's going to push it aside, and the dirt's going to roll underneath the pipe, and then you're going to lose that perfect slope that you work so hard for. Always stand on the pipe long ways and not short ways, because it spreads your weight over a greater distance, spreading the load over more square inches of the corrugated pipe. Right here, this is what it looks like when you know what you're doing. All right, the guys, they're going to put a riser on this catch basin as it slips on. No glue, no screws. That's just to bring it to grade so that the lid is at the surface. You never know how deep your catch basins are going to be. Now, what you see here, how Francisco overdug this, that basin is levitating. The pipe is holding it up. There's 3 inches between this catch basin and the fabric. So when Francisco pours the pea stone in, it's just going to roll like marbles right under the catch basin. It's going to fill that void under the catch basin. That's how you want to do it. That's the correct way, because the biggest fear is that you lift the catch basin up to get pea stone under it. That's a no-no, because when you raise this line, this has a belly in it. Now everything's going to get trapped in that belly, and that's where the line's going to clog. So your line has to have nice slope. And you have to really be conscious of this when you're installing your catch basin. You just want to pour the pea stone, let it roll under the catch basin, go ahead and add a little bit more to the sides, and then just tuck the fabric down like that. Now you can throw the dirt over it, and the dirt won't fill the voids of the pea stone. That's the proper way to install a catch basin. The same rules apply for the pop-up emitter. Oversize the hole so that there's a lot of pea stone that's going to roll under it. Do not tape the pop-up emitter on. Do not tape it. That's where the water is going to leak out. After the rain, after we have a really good rain, and you move all the bulk water safely away from the structure, the little bit that's in this elbow, if you have 1% slope, you're just going to have a little bit in this elbow. It's not going to be that big of a deal. The only way this whole line holds water is if your whole line is flat and it has no slope and no drop. You have to run it till you finally reach a point in the yard where it drops right off. This pop-up needs to be lower than the rest of this line. That's the only way this system's not going to hold water. If this is higher than the discharge end, it's impossible for it to hold water. So if you got water in your line, you need to take your line out further to where the grade breaks. The pea stone's going to end up all around this fitting. It's going to be piled up around this fitting. The water is going to leak right from this pop-up emitter. No problem. Do not hurt the integrity of the Not Quite a 90 by drilling holes in it. We build our pop-up emitter like in many dry wells. We install it and treat it no different than a dry well. You have the fabric to separate the subsurface soil from your stone because you don't want that to mix. If the subsurface soil mixes with the pea stone, it'll fill all the voids and it won't work. Just go ahead and fold the extra fabric over, cut that with a box knife, slip it over the fitting like that. That's it. Tuck it down, cover the stone so that you can start backfilling with dirt. You can see right here, Francisco, he went ahead and put the dirt back on that catch basin, brought it to grade. Has it set up perfect so that you can just put that turf restrictor plate. There's only one riser, so if we're not that deep, I love the 4-inch. It's my favorite because it's the easiest to get in and out of. It's quick, it's fast, and I'm all about efficiency and convenience. Backfill, be careful not to get dirt under your pipe. This was the perfect installation of both pop-up and catch basin. Stand on the pipe as you push the dirt onto the pipe. That way you don't have to worry about the dirt getting under the pipe and you lose that perfect slope you work so hard for. Once you have the line held in place, you can now push the dirt into the trench. The guys have set so many catch basins and pop-ups, they know exactly what they're looking for. If this is your first time to do this, you might put the cover on and then realize that you need to build up the dirt a little more so that it's not hollow under the cover. You want there to be dirt to support the turf restrictor plate. That's a perfect installation of a pop-up emitter with a turf restrictor plate. Catch basin lid was set the same way. It's flush with the grass. Now you can access this line from 3 locations. You have the leaf filter, which has 3 patents on it. Right here is a removable screen, so you can put a garden hose in there and just for a peace of mind, if that's what you want. I like it for, you know, inspecting them with a camera. Pop that lid off, suck that out with a shop vac, done. Nothing more than that. And of course, it's super easy to get in the end over here because you take a screwdriver and you put it right there and pop that clip. This lid comes out. Now you can use it for whatever you need to use it for. Camera inspection, jetter. I don't anticipate anything to ever happen to this line, especially because we're maxing it out. It's a 2x3 downspout. We have 3 2x3 downspouts on one gutter run. We have a downspout here, and a downspout up here. This is normal. Big, long gutter run, very intimidating. But guess what? There's 3 downspouts taking care of that gutter run. Because the water seeks level in the gutter run, all 3 of these downspouts are always going to be handling their share of the water. They're 2x3s, so we can't overwhelm this 3-inch pipe. So that's what we did. Instead of putting a 4-inch pipe on it, on any of these downspouts, I don't like 4-inch pipe until I have 2 2x3 downspouts to tie together, because you're not pushing enough water through the 4-inch pipe to keep it clean.
If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any questions regarding this installation, leave them in the comments section. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.